Hey guys, it's Wired. I'm a Bet's Not Made. Recently I've been playing a lot of ranked Dotes. Between the free time I have from real life obligations, I've basically cut out all of my friends and extracurricular activities to dedicate a hefty portion of my free time to being good at a game that wants me to be shit, and to some degree I'd say I'm overwhelming the odds. But a few things have been bothering me ever since I started this spree, and I wanted to share one such of those things with you guys today. So we'll call this episode Tales from Ranked with Wired, and if you want to hear more of my solo queue troubles in the future, then we can make a series out of this. To be honest, I'm only voicing my opinion on this matter because of how insanely prevalent I find it to be, and how I think it needs to be addressed better by we as the community and perhaps even Valve. Without beating around the bush too much, the issue I'm talking about is griefing, and more specifically, toxic players. Before you downvote and unsub because I said toxic, which is the equivalent of blasphemy for Dota players, and this isn't the League video, I get it, hear me out, because we Dota players have a huge problem within our community that nobody addresses, and to be honest, it's actually beginning to frustrate me. I'll come out and say it. I've lost sleep because of the loss streaks that I've gone on from ranked, and I'd like to think that I'm a rather level-headed guy that avoids tilt for the most part. You can watch my stream to judge my ability to handle tilt for yourself, but where I used to get super invigorated to just play some Dota 2 and grind that solo queue MMR, I'm now super scared that if I play any more than 4 games, I'll probably encounter at least one player that encourages animal abuse, or planting a fucking blue-eyed forest of sentries in their base. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I concede that I may be a proprietor in the attitude of some of these players, and I'm not trying to sit here and tell you guys that I'm innocent in the circumstances that I'm talking about, but when it comes to feeding or abandoning or giving up on perfectly winnable games, I feel confident in saying that I've never, ever done that before, and that I always try, 100% of the time, to achieve victory in solo queue ranked. As long as I have your attention on the matter, I thought I may as well inquire you of some information. Have you ever fed couriers? Have you ever sold all of your items to buy blue wards? Have you ever AFK'd in the fountain, only to gather EXP every once in a while just to make sure you don't get an abandon, even though you've really abandoned all hope for the game's chances of being won by your team? If so, why? I'm not trying to convey that question directly. Think about it for a second and use your esoteric thought. Why do you even play Dota 2, if you just want to make others miserable or go AFK? Why do you use Dota 2 as your medium to relay sadism as you watch your teammates rage because they're going to lose all because of a 4v5? Or why do you spend time in queue and hero select just to go AFK while you make a hot pocket and watch a movie with your computer on in the background? And by the way, I'm not joking about that second part. That is the real reason why this jug is AFK right now. Oh shit, boys, that's right, I'm a psych major, and I've already read your minds. I know how you're going to answer both of those questions before you can even answer them yourselves. You're going to say that in the first situation, where you're feeding couriers because the game is lost, you're actually trying to end the game sooner because you value your time and don't want to waste it on what you've prescribed as a lost cause. To that, I beg of you to detach yourself from whatever specific stat it is that you're looking at that makes you think that the game is already over. Seriously. Quit praising KDA like it's the most important thing in the world and start looking at objectives. Who's gotten the last Roshan? Who has more towers? Who has better late game? Is their team raging at themselves? Is there any chance that Rat Dota could pull a victory? And to the second situation, where you just straight up went AFK. Under what criteria does the game need to be in for you to consider it still worth your time? Seriously, some of the people that I meet at 5k that give up after we fall more than 5 kills behind baffle me on as to how they even got to 5k to begin with. Bottom line, if you're going to give up every game that involves you being more than 5 kills behind, you need to personally take it upon yourself to literally never die in any game and play nothing but Bounty Hunter, Broodmother, or Ricky and just constantly roam, or in Broodmother's case, just sit in your lane and kill everybody. It just seems so hypocritical when the same people that are AFK farming in the safe lane as our carry complain that the game is over when we fall 5 kills behind, even though they haven't shown up to any of the early game teamfights and haven't contributed jack shit to the game state as it stands. It's the social equivalent of joining 4 classmates on a school project that none of you contribute towards, and then you present the audacity to complain to the other 4 people for the grade that the 5 of you got, even though you did no more than they. But don't confuse what I'm saying. Even if you do your best and are carrying your team that's feeding nonstop, that's no reason to give up. I'd much rather strive to make the most out of seemingly impossible situations compared to backing down to them. It makes victory that much sweeter if it happens, and often, things are never as bad as they seem. It's funny, these same kinds of people that give up are often the kinds of people that say that there's nothing but idiots at their MMR except for them. Yet they fail to realize how that should actually correlate to a positive win rate, seeing as how 4 idiots and 1 good player beats 5 idiots in almost every situation. So often I find that sticking a game through to the end can yield such a clutch win that I never expected could have been possible because my enemies will throw harder than C-Deck threw against EG during TI4. Anyways, if I could leave you with some food for thought, I actually wanted to give my attempt at divulging why people tilt hard, what you can do to minimize the number of tilters in your game, and if you're a tilter, what you can do to not tilt yourself and throw the game for you and your team. Whereas the cause for tilting may seem obvious to some, I feel like it's necessary that we establish this foothold so that we may all be up to speed. The common assortment of getting outplayed and playing versus heroes that people don't like will usually do the trick, but sometimes people have real-life issues that they don't seem to realize only worsen when they play ranked matches of solo queue in Dota 2. In the former case, try to camp the hero that they're struggling versus. Especially if it's their lane opponent, you can probably get some good kills with a well-coordinated gank and really get the person back on track in terms of their levels of motivation and encouragement. Another way of achieving this effect is empathizing with the person and demonizing the matchup that they're in. Stating things like, yeah, he's definitely favored here, man. Just farm what you can and leech EXP. You'll definitely have a bigger impact in the mid-game, I guarantee it. Can really help someone feel motivated to not feed, even if it's not true. The goal here is to stop the hemorrhaging of your teammates, not be Mr. Honest McGee. So if you have to stretch the truth a bit and tell them that a lion outcarries a specter, then go for it. Whatever you can do to stop the feeding. Also, another above all else, don't argue with someone who's tilting. I estimate that the odds of that outcome being a desirable one that's conducive to winning the game that you're in amounting to probably less than 5%. My exhaustive analysis of pubs has taught me that arguing with people almost never works. Anyways, in the latter case of somebody tilting because of real life problems, I'd usually advise just muting the person and hoping that they do well. You can't really do much for XXX420 sniper weed pussy XXX's mom who's dying of an erectile dysfunction except for wonder why they're on Dota 2 to begin with. Finally, if you notice yourself tilting hard because of any of the aforementioned reasons, or even something I didn't mention, I'd recommend you trying your best to work towards understanding yourself as a human being. Without getting too off topic or out of hand with this discussion, just know that self-actualization is a really difficult thing to master, and there's a good chance that even if you can admit to yourself now whilst watching this video that you tilt hard during your solo queue games, you probably can't admit it to yourself during your actual solo queue games. I've found that through muting all chat and playing my favorite music, I can admit to myself when I'm getting tense and anxious. And I can better acclimate myself to accommodate to the environment that my body and mind are trying to shift towards. Either I stabilize and recover, or I take a break and try not to lose too much MMR. But either way, I don't usually mix tilt with Dota 2.